Alright, new year, new gadgets for a new season of RVing. Today I'm upgrading our setup from a MOFI5500, just base model MOFI here, to a more powerful 5G compatible MOFI. This is a 5500-9191, because it's imperative that we have great internet connectivity for our jobs as software engineers. We have a lot of meetings and we actually have a lot of work to do. And I'd like to keep our setup on our visible plan, which I have now in my iPad mini. So I'm going to be comparing the mini to the LTE to the 5G real quick. And we do have Starlink as a backup, but it's more expensive. It's 100 something a month versus our visible plan right now, which is like 30. So I'd like to try and rely on this a lot more. And Starlink is susceptible to its own issues, keeping line of sight and just extra setup with running the wire out and plugging it in and doing all that, whereas this can just be set up once and left setup. And so having a beefier modem and one I can upgrade further with like external antennas and stuff, I think is going to just allow us to stay connected and get a bit further away. And I can always swap SIMs and keep like another backup, like T-Mobile or AT&T, like prepaid plan or something to toss in here if, coverage is spotty. And before with this one, it was sometimes tough to share the bandwidth between two people in two separate meetings. So I think upgrading to 5G is going to allow us to really, get our work done and not have to juggle, hotspotting our phone just to, get to a meeting and stuff like that. So I think this will be a little nicer. There's plenty of in-depth 4500 and 5500 comparison videos, so this is not that, but it is pretty simple to set up with our grandfathered in visible plan. Already made sure this is all working and stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna test it out right here in our driveway. I tested this one out like a week ago, and it's working okay. But in the future, I'll definitely be picking up a directional antenna for it. That way I can really zero in on a tower and stay as connected as possible. So stay tuned for that. And as an engineer by trade, I like to geek out on tech, so I'll share any other helpful tips and tricks I find. So hit subscribe and let's check it out. So while this one boots up, I'll show you just running off SIM here. These should both kick over to 5G. This is my iPad mini 6th gen. This is my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Both 5G capable, both running on visible SIM plans that have been grandfathered in for a while now. So I'm going to hit go. Not the best upload, but check out detailed results for those interested. Let's go back. So let's run it again. So not bad still, pretty good for 5G. So let's pop the SIM out and we'll get it in here and then compare this LTE modem to what you just saw running on 5G on here. Clicks in, it'll give us a second to connect to the internet. Yeah, so I have this one called Ember RV. So now you see we have internet. Let's try it again. A little better, but still, not peaking over 20. I forget what the max speed is on A, this router, and B, LTE in general. So just for giggles, one more time. Not super great. You can imagine, trying to share this between two people, both in meetings, and trying to, upload and download code and reload our apps and stuff, and yeah. All right, let's swap modems real quick. And now I got the new 5G connected. And I have this one set up as this. And you can see this one has 5G Wi-Fi and 2G Wi-Fi, which means hopefully that we'll be able to pick up this Wi-Fi signal in the truck while we're towing, and hopefully have just an even better connection for working and entertainment while we're on the road. So now this should be more close to our 5G speeds that we saw earlier, if not even better. So that's a really good sign. This will, I think, allow us to really just be a lot more comfortable and get a lot more work done with far fewer headaches. And I'm still considering switching my phone to Verizon. That way I can pop my SIM card in here and hopefully get even faster internet when we need it. But for now, I think we'll hold on to our visible plan, and I'm going to just swap it out into my iPad when we're not RVing. Yeah, so let's just try it one more time. That looked pretty good. I'm getting way up there. Look at that. Triple digits. Check out some detailed results. So it's looking pretty good. Double check we're still connected to the MOFI and not our regular house internet. So that looks good there. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased. Next, I just gotta find a good spot to mount this. Thinking of mounting it in here along that wall. Because then I can run 12-volt service to it, tapped straight from this plug, or find an adapter, because I got this set of plugs here just to get started. Because these are hardwireable. There's plenty of options. But I think if I mount it here, that will keep it nice and high. Maybe even mount it straight to the roof in here. I don't know yet, because it's just a little bigger than our old one. But I think, of course, the higher it is, the better. But just mounted right above here is the solar panels on the roof. And then, of course, you got the microwave here. So just trying to keep those out of the way. But I'll figure that out next. For now, I gotta get back to work. Hope that don't fall. Alright, so I just got the charger delivered for the router. Mofi sells a 12-volt DC charger instead of the regular household plug. First, let's see if this fits. It'd be a bummer if it didn't. That fits great. So I picked up this splitter off this 12-volt plug here. Let's see, it's got a little battery voltage meter too, which is handy, I guess. But it's also got switches, so I can turn the TV on and off, or switch the router on and off too. Let's see if this will power up and not blow any fuses. I'll make sure the TV turns on too. Mofi actually sells a plug, but they say to probably not use it with the 5500, or it could blow the fuse inside here. And it's either a 2 amp or a 2.5 amp plug that they sell, but this one I picked up is 3 amps. And the direct DC vehicle harness they sell is also 3 amps or so. So I went with a 3 amp plug here. So I'll link that in the description. But it seems like it's working, and then I'll come back out later and find somewhere to hardwire it or hard mount it up here somewhere. Probably something like that. Some of the wires out of the way. But then it kind of gets, it'll be kind of hard to get to the SIM card, but I won't be swapping that out that often, so yeah, I'll get that mounted up a little later. And then you can see we just have a little Chromecast plugged into the back of our TV. So I'll have to get that connected to the new router as well. Go. And it's important to have access to the SIM card tray here. Alright, so after this thing boots up, it sometimes doesn't want to connect straight away, so it kind of helps to leave the SIM card out till it's done booting up when this turns solid, and then pop the SIM card the rest of the way in. Then after that it seems to connect okay. But at least this way it's up nice and high, it's out of the way. The Wi-Fi antennas are as close to the front of the rig as possible. I wanted it that way so that, again, we can hopefully pick up the Wi-Fi in the truck while we're driving, getting from place to place. Let's pop this in. And then, yeah, that should boot up. On this side I have the 5G antennas, and on this side I have the 4G antennas. This is the primary. The secondary, I have no idea what that means. If I figure it out, I'll let you all know. Not bad, kind of like that setup. Sweating. But at least now it's in here, it's out of the way, but still pretty accessible. And there you go, it just connected. So, and then if I need to quickly and easily turn it off, I can hit that button. Using the 12-volt plug now, should use a lot less power than the standard plug it came with. This is 100 volts, 100 to 240 in, 12 volt, 3.5 amp out. Whereas this is 12 volt DC at 3 amps. Or at least it's got a 3 amp fuse in it, so all seems to be working. So I think that about wraps it up for this video. And then on to the next project.